On Thursday morning, October 1, 2020, around 2 a.m., Detroit police discovered a burned vehicle on the 2100 block of Hyde Park Drive. Inside was the body of a man, who would soon be identified as 32-year-old Tukoyo Moore. Later that morning, Detroit authorities requested for the Warren County Police to conduct a death notification at Moore's last known address. Authorities arrived at the home on the 2000 block of Otis Avenue around 10 a.m., and when they got to the front door, they noticed the door was half open. Thinking it looked suspicious, they then decided to conduct a welfare check instead. Making their way inside, calling out for anyone to respond if they were there, with no response. They then made their way to the basement, where they sadly discover the bodies of 6-year-old Tai'rez Moore and 28-year-old Isis Rimson. They had both been shot execution style. Tai'rez was Tukoyo's son and Isis was his fiancée. After the discovery of the bodies, a search warrant for the property was obtained and executed the same day. During the search, Warren PD seized personal property and tagged it as evidence. This included multiple firearms, D-rugs and D-rug paraphernalia, including a scale, baggies, a container which was initially suspected and later proven to be FNT, as well a plate with drug residue. As for the seized personal property, there were cell phones, phone cases, Wi-Fi router, laptop, a yellow bag, and a safe. Allegedly, the yellow bag contained $30,000 and $170,000. In the safe, they also seized a wallet that contained $127 and a purse that contained $605. With the evidence and money seized, Warren PD suspected the murders must be D-rug related. After investigating, authorities discovered that on the evening hours of September 30, 2020, Tukoyo received a call from a friend, then 37-year-old Nicholas Bari. The two frequently spoke on the phone, as the two had 300 calls occurring between them just within the 3 months leading up to the killings. Further investigating into the days leading up to the murders, authorities learned Tukoyo was part of a D-rug trafficking operation. On the night of September 30, 2020, Tukoyo rented a Kia Sorento at approximately 7:15 p.m. He then left home in the rental and drove to Nicholas's home, arriving at 7:48 p.m. At that point, Tukoyo's phone stopped transmitting a signal. Video footage obtained from the driveway of Nicholas's home showed him walk up to the car briefly, speak with Tukoyo, then put a satchel in the rear of the car. After making several trips from the vehicle to the garage, Nicholas could be seen putting his hand in his right pants pocket and then sitting in the vehicle. After some visible movement of Nicholas's hand and Tukoyo's head, the vehicle began backing down the driveway. Some bushes blocked the view of the car when it reached the bottom of the driveway. But the vehicle left the scene within 15 seconds of making its way to the end of the driveway. The GPS data from the rental revealed that the car left Nicholas's home at 7:55 p.m. The vehicle had been driven through other neighborhoods, cul-de-sacs, and had entered and left various freeways throughout the Detroit area, before eventually ending up at Tukoyo's home in Warren at about 9:47 p.m. The car stopped at the home just briefly before turning around and leaving, only to make its way back to Tukoyo's home just 8 minutes later at 9:55 p.m. and remaining for over an hour. After leaving Tukoyo's home at 11:10 p.m., the rental car was then driven to a gas station in Ferndale. While on the way to the gas station using a burner phone purchased several days earlier, Nicholas attempted to make a call that did not go through. But that attempted call used a cell phone tower that was near the location of the rental at the time it was made. After leaving the gas station, the car took an erratic path to its final destination on Hyde Park Drive in Detroit. Another surveillance video revealed a person resembling Nicholas walking in the Greektown area near Hyde Park Drive, wearing a University of Michigan hat just like the person in the gas station surveillance video. While in the area, Nicholas would later be captured on yet another surveillance video putting the hat in a garbage can and later getting into a cab. At approximately 3:45 a.m., Nicholas was seen on security footage arriving home in a cab. Then in the early morning hours of October 1, 2020, the police responded to a report of a burning car on Hyde Park Drive. When police arrived to the scene, firefighters were already extinguishing the fire and notified the police that there was a body inside the vehicle. The body in the back of the car would later be identified as Tukoyo Moore. An arson investigator determined that the fire was intentionally set and that gasoline was used as the accelerant. The gas can was found on top of Tukoyo's body. Later, an autopsy revealed that Tukoyo's death was caused by a gunshot wound to the head through his right ear lobe and head before severing his spinal cord. The medical examiner also noted stippling on Tukoyo's right cheek and neck, indicating the weapon was fairly close to him when it was discharged. The medical examiner did not think it would have been possible for Tukoyo to have driven a vehicle anywhere after being shot. When the police went to Tukoyo's home in Warren around 10 a.m. to notify his next of kin, they noticed the front door ajar. Warren police conducted a welfare check, and when they entered the home, it appeared to be ransacked, with items thrown around the home. In the basement, the police found Isis and Tai'rez both deceased. Isis was in a crouched defensive position curled up. Tai'rez was found with his knees pulled up to his chest. There were pools of blood and shell casings around and near their bodies. Bullet holes of 2 different calibers were found in the walls. Both .45 and .380 calibers were discovered. Isis had 8 separate gunshot wounds, which included one to the left side of her head that was fatal. Another wound was found on her right forearm that was in a defensive posture. She also had a laceration on the left side of her chin that was consistent with a gunshot. Tai'rez had 7 gunshot wounds, 1 entered his left temporal and exited his brain, and was immediately incapacitating and fatal.
Warren police are calling on the FBI to step in to investigate the double murder involving a woman and a 6-year-old boy.
This comes after police confirmed the 2 were taken downstairs in their home and shot execution style. Sean Lay has been working the story since it broke, joins us right now, and I understand you just spoke to the little boy's family.
Especially Tai'rez Moore's mother. She found the strength to speak with us today because she wants you to hear the details. And the details are so hard to hear, they are awful. But she says it's important to understand these details because it shows the level of brutality and the type of people the people that police are out there searching for frantically right now.
Tai'rez Moore. And Mommy's so sorry I wasn't there to help you. Mommy's so sorry.
Brittany Harris wants our entire community to know her son's name, Tai'rez. She wants all of us to never forget his name. Tai'rez was 6. Tai'rez Moore was murdered yesterday in Warren.
What y'all did to my baby was so gruesome. Y'all literally walked my baby down the basement and y'all shot him execution style. My only son, my baby.
Tai'rez's body was found in the basement of a home on Otis in Warren, also shot execution style. The girlfriend of Tai'rez's father, Mari Thompson, is Tai'rez's grandmother.
The fact that somebody would go to the extent of waking him up
to do something like
and forcing him to know that he was getting ready to lose his life. I know he was so scared.
Tai'rez's father abducted from the home, his burned remains found in a car in Detroit. This family says Tai'rez was so excited in their final conversation they had with him just a day before he was murdered.
about his tooth wiggling and it was ready to come out, and he said, well, it'll come out tomorrow.
And tomorrow never
came for him.
It's a baby. Who executes a baby? Keep saying his name.
It just takes your breath away how awful this case is. The family also asking us to pass along another request for you at home to keep sharing Tai'rez's photo all over social media to keep this case alive while the suspects are still out there. Guys, just checked with police, Warren Police, FBI, and Detroit Police working together. I'm told progress is being made in the case. And the question we keep getting asked, why shoot a 6-year-old little boy? I talked to some law enforcement experts. It says that tells them that he knew exactly who walked right into that house. Back to you.
I don't have the right words. It's just heartbreaking. All right, thank you, Sean. We know we'll stay on top of this investigation.
During the criminal investigation, Detective Jim Twardowski sought the assistance of the Michigan State Police to enhance the driveway video. When enhanced, the video showed Nicholas Bari and Tukoyo leaving on the evening of September 30, 2020. Sergeant Kevin Curtis of the Michigan State Police was able to zoom in on a portion of that video and enhance it. And Sergeant Curtis says he thought he was seeing Nicholas put his hand up and shoot Tukoyo in the head. In the days leading up to the incident, Nicholas' phone internet search history showed he accessed the website gunauction.com and placed a bid on a handgun. Nicholas also searched for .380 and .45 caliber ammunition. This evidence would later be presented at trial. Then on October 1st at 5 a.m. there was a search for body found in Detroit. After this, Nicholas Bari was charged with both first-degree premeditated murder and first-degree felony murder for killing Tukoyo, Isis, and Tai'rez, as well as carjacking for taking the rental and armed robbery for Isis and Tai'rez.
Police are calling the execution-style murder of a man, a woman, and a 6-year-old little boy. Nicholas Bari faces multiple homicide charges, with all of them facing life sentences. Victor Williams is following today's arraignment. And Victor, this man has a long criminal history.
Yes, that's right. Long criminal history indeed, and we're finally getting a look at him. This right here is Nicholas Bari. Like we said before, he has a long criminal history and now a long list of charges involving the death of 6-year-old Tai'rez Moore.
People versus Nicholas Rod Bari.
Nicholas Bari appeared in court, finally answering to a judge for allegedly being the person behind the death of 3, including 6-year-old Tai'rez Moore.
Warren PD officers Doe and Wiggins entered the home and found victim number 2, Isis Rimson, black female 28, and victim number 3, Tai'rez Moore, a black male 6 years of age, deceased with multiple gunshot wounds in the basement of the home.
He's facing 15 charges, including 3 counts of first-degree murder and 3 counts of felony firearm. But while he was inside being arraigned,
I seen him leaving his house. Killed my baby.
The mother of Isis Rimson was outside the courtroom, openly grieving and hoping for justice.
My grandbaby will live without her mother for the rest of her life.
Back inside, Bari wasn't able to afford an attorney, asking the court to appoint one for him.
I think I should get an attorney.
You want the court?
I think maybe I need to get appointed one.
Okay.
But whatever you did, was it worth it? And you still don't have money to get your own, and you need a court-appointed attorney?
And as far as the motive in this horrific case,
it was all about drugs and money. And I'll leave it at that.
My daughter, 6-year-old stepson, her fiance, they deserve to rest in peace. Was material things and money worth these people's lives?
now in the past, Bari has been charged with possession of narcotics. On top of that, breaking and entering. He's due back in court on October the 22nd. Reporting live in Warren, Victor Williams, Local 4.
On April 22, 2022, after 6 days of trial, the jury took just 3 hours of deliberation to convict a now 39-year-old Nicholas Bari on all 15 counts as charged. After the trial, Nicholas made claims that the trial had several errors. He first claimed that the court erred when it permitted police officer Sergeant Kevin Curtis to offer his interpretation about what was depicted in a video played for the jury. He also claimed that his trial counsel was ineffective when he failed to cite any rule of evidence in his objection to the testimony. Next, he argues that he received ineffective assistance of counsel when they failed to move to suppress the evidence seized from his cell phone. Nicholas also asserts that his defense counsel performed ineffectively by failing to object to the admission of several graphic and duplicative photos of the victims' bodies, as well claiming his right to a unanimous verdict was violated when the jury was instructed by both the trial court and the verdict form that it could convict him of first-degree premeditated murder and/or felony murder without being unanimous as to which crime he committed. Nicholas stated that his attorney was ineffective for failing to object to that instruction. Nicholas presented an array of arguments focusing on the allegation that the video presented to the jury at trial was altered. He also says that his attorney was ineffective for failing to procure the testimony of an expert witness. Despite his complaints, on Wednesday, June 29, 2022, Nicholas Rod Bari was sentenced to life without parole for the first-degree murder convictions. He was also given 38 to 60 months in prison for the arson and 38 to 120 months for the mutilation conviction, as well as 2 years for all the felony firearm convictions to be served consecutively to the other sentences. Nicholas Rod Bari is now 45 years old and serving out his sentence in the Michigan Department of Corrections.